Okay guys, in this video I want to look at some examples of how we use the properties or theorems that we just talked about with isosceles trapezoids. So in our first example here, we have, well, let's check and see. We at least have a trapezoid. Okay, so I see that we have a quadrilateral with two parallel lines. So we have a trapezoid, and we're given that these two are congruent. Okay, so these sides are congruent, these sides are parallel, so we have an isosceles trapezoid. So we want to find x and y. All right, so x and y. Looks like x is going to be, we know that these two, again, because two parallel lines, we know that these two must add up to 180, so x is going to be 120. We also know that the same is true for y, so that's going to be 60. Now we could have used also the fact that an isosceles trapezoid has congruent base angles, and so that's how you would solve that kind of base level problem. Moving on up here, let's see here, we have this situation. So we have a trapezoid, okay, so I'm not sure if it's isosceles yet, but we for sure have a trapezoid here, and we're given this exterior angle. So we want to find the interior angle, see if this trapezoid is isosceles. So this is going to be 70. So if that's 70 degrees, then it looks like this is in fact isosceles. So again, if you have at least one pair of base angles is isosceles, if one pair of base angles is congruent, then the trapezoid is isosceles. So these are isosceles. So it looks like x is going to equal 5. Okay, let's come down here. We have quadrilateral A, B, C, D. All right, we see it's a trapezoid because BC is parallel to AD. So we have a trapezoid. Now what about, is it isosceles? Okay, well it looks like angle BAD is congruent to angle CDA. So because of that, if one pair of base angles, again, is congruent, then the trapezoid is isosceles. Okay, so we know that x is going to equal 7. It also says that AC, so this diagonal, equals 10 to find BD. So again, we have one of the diagonals is equal to 10, so BD is going to equal, those will be the same length, so the other diagonal will be 10 as well. All right. Finally, in this last example, the most difficult, we have we're given isosceles trapezoid. So I can see two parallel lines and the legs are congruent, so we know this is isosceles. And we want to find what this x is. Okay. So fairly difficult problem here. What I want to do is I want to draw a line from here to a point on this line that is parallel to this line. So let me do that. Okay, so I want to make these parallel. Okay. Now, if those are parallel, then we know that since this distance is 3, then this distance also must be 3. Okay, so we know that that distance is 3. And we know if that distance is 3 and this whole distance is 6, then this distance is 3. So we know that we have a parallelogram here. Okay, so if this is a parallelogram, then we know that this side, this yellow side, must be the same as this white side, congruent. So we now see that here we have at least an isosceles triangle. So we know that since these two sides are congruent, then their base angles opposite of them must be congruent. So this is 60 degrees. Okay, and so we finally can figure out what this angle is, which is 60 degrees. Okay, so it looks like this is an equilateral triangle. Now, if it's equilateral, that means equilateral. The definition is that all three sides are the same. We know that this side is 3, so this is going to be 3, and this is going to be 3. So it looks like x is going to equal 3. All right, hopefully this helped you guys develop a deeper understanding, get more comfortable with isosceles trapezoids and how they work. Thanks for watching.